Hey everybody, my name is Steven and welcome back to Storytime. Without wasting time, let's get into our first story of the day. Mother tried to get me fired for corrupting young children with sinful and satanic behavior. As preface, I don't worship Satan. I play Dungeons and Dragons. So last year, I got invited to work as a swim coach at the country club where I first started swimming, as I no swim at the D1 college level. This was an incredible opportunity for me and I loved it. I am very well liked by almost all the parents, even some I've known for over a decade. The entitled mother in this story was pretty new, only being there now for a year. Last summer, I had started getting in Dungeons and Dragons and I honestly love it so much. I was at a game store looking at getting new dice and books while having a guy there explain miniatures to me when entitled mother came in, as she had seen me outside. She was very nice and asked me what I was doing there. I said I was here to get some stuff to play D&D, and that's when things turned bad. She started to call me a Satan worshiper, saying her piece, then left, and I thought that was the end of it. Boy, was I wrong. The next day at practice, I was with this little 5-year-old boy who I had known since he was born, and the entitled mother came over to yell at me to not corrupt him. After yelling at me, the little boy's mother came over to me and asked what was going on. The entitled mother said I was a Satan worshiper and maybe worse, insinuating I preyed on children. This mom had known me since I was a little kid and had helped babysit her youngest 2 children and was always best friends with her oldest kid who had Down syndrome. But he was the coolest guy I ever met and he and I did private lessons all the time. Looking confused, I explained the situation and the mom helped me to get her to back off. Yet it still didn't end there. She talked to other parents at the club to get them against me. Unfortunately for her, I was the club's golden boy, a title I don't really liked or cared about. I got it for being the team's best swimmer ever and really good with kids. When this didn't work, she went to my boss, the head coach. Now the head coach didn't like me as I had tried to get her fired. There's several reasons why I did this. Mainly, she is the head lifeguard, left no one there to watch the pool to go on dates, then got a promotion. I got treated poorly, but when going to the higher up, she was let go. I had also known him since I was a kid as well. In the end, the entitled mother didn't get her way, but she had tried to take my job away for a hobby. I am still super into D&D and she still claims I'm a violent Satanist. She says this as she found out I love hard rock and play video games. But I was lucky because I knew all these people. It's sad because to avoid dealing with this, I don't think I will be applying again this year, which is upsetting because all of the memories there, and it was ruined by a game meant to help people connect socially, be creative, use problem solving, and just have fun. Edit because a lot of people were asking. While this event left a sour taste in my mouth, I also don't feel like going back because even after reporting my boss, she immediately got a freaking promotion when the staff was told she would be let go instead. I also have moved since and don't plan on returning home, instead stay in New York for a summer. There were many things that made me not want to apply there this summer, but she was just one of them. Honestly, I don't even know how I would handle that situation. Let me ask you this. If you're in this store looking at these things, and this lady comes in and starts calling you a Satanist, how do you even respond? Let me know in the comments below. It's Italian tradition. This story takes place during the week my wife and I got married. I was 28 at the time. We had a destination wedding in the Bahamas and it was amazing. We had 15 people able to join us. We had picked Bahamas as it was the first place my wife ever did a vacation to, and it's where I proposed to her. So for us, the week was pure magic. Now onto the story of my mother. I would write about her antics during the whole week, but I don't think people want to read a book, so I'll only talk about the wedding day itself. It's Wednesday, middle of our trip. Both me and my wife wanted to follow the don't see each other before the wedding rule. We've gotten some flack for it, but whatever. We were getting married off the resort in a small blue church in a nature sanctuary. I was to go first and my wife would follow. While waiting on the rides for me, my best man and our guest, my mom kept saying things. It's Italian tradition for the mother to take photos with the groom before the wedding. It's Italian tradition for the mother to take photos with the best man and guests. This was getting annoying, but then my mother pulls me aside and starts to have a heart-to-heart talk to me, which I thought was going to go one way. It was basically a lecture about how important she is and how selfish I was. She ended it with, It's also Italian tradition to wear these cufflinks. I was expecting cufflinks that my grandpa wore at his wedding. I respected him greatly. He had a huge influence in my life. She pulls out these dollar store cufflinks and kept trying to pass them off as a family heirloom. I later found out that she had bought them in Bahamas as an impulse buy. Also, my suit wasn't made with cufflinks in mind. Anyways, as the bride shows up, my mother tells me, "Oh, don't forget, it's Italian tradition for the mother to walk to the son down the aisle." Everyone looked at her like she was crazy because even my dumb self knows that's not a tradition anywhere. I called her out on that and she starts arguing with me. She sort of relents and tells me, "Well, if you're going to break your mother's heart, at least follow the Italian tradition of making your brother the usher." I told her that like only 6 people were coming with me, but fine, whatever. We finally leave, my mother staying behind to stay with the bride's side. Lord knows what stuff she tried to pull with her. We get to the nature sanctuary and go to the small blue church that can hold maybe 40 people. Everyone just sits where they want and my brother stands by the door. Now, my wife's maid of honor is her best friend and she's a sickening, amazing person. Honestly, she's properly the most selfless person on the planet. However, her only flaw is that she is very loud. I bring that up because when my wife and everyone with her pulls up, you can hear her maid of honor and the distance between us is large. I perk up and get ready when my brother, who is still standing by the door, says, "OP, I'm gonna go have a smoke and explore the park." And I tell him, "We just heard them pull up." No. He tries arguing with me but finally just shuts up and gives me dirty looks for the rest of the day. This place is huge and maze-like. The other guests show up, everyone gets their seats. We didn't care who sat where. We start the wedding and I see my soon-to-be wife as a bride as she comes around the corner. My heart stops and I realize that this is the best moment in my life. Everyone else apparently knew what I was thinking because I had a smile that went from ear to ear. Honestly, the 2 seconds of her coming around the corner made all my stress vanish. My wife looked at me and gave me a huge smile as well. Seeing her walk down the aisle is a memory I replay in my head all the time. Sorry for the sappy bit. Wedding goes great. We do our vows. I can hear my best man behind me crying like his mom just died. After the ceremony, my mother is back into Italian tradition mode. It's Italian tradition for the mother to have a photo with the groom. It's Italian tradition for the mother to XYZ. If I were to type out everything that was Italian tradition, no one would read this. Later, when we got our photos back, my mother had this scowl on her face the entire time. There's one that's my favorite because it's during the whole "Do you take OP to be" part and she has this look of like pure disgust and hatred. It's great. So we get back to the resort. We have our reception. I think that's what it's called. I'm just an idiot and forget. My mother tries to start it out by saying, "It's Italian tradition for the mother of the groom to do 3 speeches." My best man wasn't having that and put his foot down on who does a speech. He kicked butt at keeping her insanity in control during the week. Everyone does their speeches. My now in-laws do theirs and hand us a card. In it, it says, "When we get home, we will give you $1,000 as a wedding present." Awesome! My mother tried a few more Italian traditions. One was about her cutting the cake. Several were about her and various photos with people. The cap to the night, after dinner, my mother walks up to me and my now wife and says to her, "How much did your parents give you?" She was like, "Huh?" And my mother goes, "Well, it's Italian tradition for the groom's parents to give double of the bride's parents." We paused in confusion and told her they haven't given us anything yet, but they will give us $1,000 when we get home. My mother goes, "Good, I'll give you $3,000 then." We were like, "Okay." Spoilers, my mother never gave us a single penny. It's been 4 years since our wedding and my mother tells people that she paid for everything. The wedding, my suit, my wife's dress, her grandma with dementia bought it for her, so that really pees off my wife. All 17, counting my wife and me, people's airfare, hotel, wedding ceremony, and so much more. The only thing she paid for was her and my brother's trip, and the only reason my brother came was because it was a free vacation for him. And I'll end it with this fun fact. I'm half Italian, but have never once in my life done anything Italian or have acknowledged my Italian half. My wife and I also don't care about tradition. She's Polish, I'm half Italian, half Irish. We got married in a Christian Bahamian church. What's also funny is my mother refuses to call my wife her name. She just says, "your wife," in a snide tone. "How are you and your wife?" kind of thing. So yeah, that's my Italian tradition wedding. And yes, I've cut that toxic woman out of my life. I'm sure this mother's gonna make a lot of Italians feel a very specific way. Entitled mother wishes that I would go burn in heck since I don't believe in heck. Just wanted to know that I am not encouraging any negative attention towards religion and that I respect it as if I were practicing it. So, a bit of context. I was raised Christian, and when I got to the age of understanding the real world and how religion can be, I decided that there was no higher power watching over us. With that in mind, I didn't go to church anymore after that, so I never got to know the community that went to that church, and boy was that a mistake. I swear I can't go near any of them without them talking about the same thing. Some conversations got more severe than others, but the one I'm about to tell you takes the trophy. This took place at one of my favorite sushi bars, and now I work there for now as I am trying to get a different job that is higher paying. I was with my girlfriend and we decided to go to my favorite restaurant for our date. Though as we were walking to our table, I see a group of housewives and two of the people who went to the church I used to go to talking together and chatting about whatever they were talking about in the first place. Then one of them looks at me with disgust when she saw my tattoos. And then they all started looking at me the same way, which was kind of weird to be honest. Anyway, I'm having a great time with my girl and one of them walks over to our table. The conversation went around like this. Cast: OP, ya boy, GF, best in the world, HW12345, the Legion of Karens, M, manager. What have you done to your body with those vile pictures on your arms? Me wearing a black t-shirt with all my tattoos showing and was caught off guard by this comment. I'm sorry, but what do you mean, my tattoos? Yes, of course I mean your tattoos. Gosh, aren't you the dullest crayon in the box? I laughed at this and had no idea what she meant by dullest crayon in the box. OP laughing under breath. I'm sorry, but why are you here besides insulting me? To tell you that you have sinned and that you need God. Girlfriend says, first off, don't insult my boyfriend like that. Secondly, we are atheists and don't believe in God. Thirdly, we don't need anyone and leave us alone. Housewife 1 was shocked by this comment and gasped like it was her dying breath. Then Housewife 2 and 3 came over to see what happened to Housewife 1. Now, most of the people in the restaurant have the attention of the table we are sitting at. How dare you insult me like that? And the fact that you don't believe in God is ridiculous. This is what God meant about not finishing his creation. Quite frankly, I had no idea that God didn't finish his creation. Though, since I was paranoid at this point, I decided to reply with this. Didn't God tell you to love your neighbor as you love yourself? The whole crowd was wooing after that comment. Housewife 3 says, I thought you were an atheist, OP. Yes, I am. Though that doesn't mean I haven't read scripture when I was little. Housewife 2 says, but that's just not possible. Girlfriend says, and yet you say that God can do the impossible. Looks like we were both right. Well, maybe just us since we can't prove that God is. OP says, I agree. So why don't you just leave us alone or the manager will come to solve the situation, and I'm pretty sure that this will go our way. The housewives were struck with disgust because of our so-called bad manners. And then Housewife 3 went back to their table, but Housewife 1 and 2 stuck around for a little bit more. I knew you never were a good Christian. You always were the black sheep of the family. Girlfriend says, don't you talk to him like that. Show some respect. Housewife 2 says, no one cares about your opinion, goth brat. OP says, now you people are starting to pee me off. Leave now. Manager says, hello everybody, what seems to be the problem here? These two verbally abused us and were threatening our lives. Manager says, is this true? Looking at us. If anything, these two are the ones who are verbally abusing us, though no one was threatened with their lives. Housewife 2 says, liar. Girlfriend says, hypocrite. Manager says, let me go look at the footage to see who did who and all of this will be solved. Housewife 2 says, no, we will leave them alone. No footage has to be brought out. Housewife 3, 4, and 5, packing up their stuff and paying for their checks, were trying to leave so they weren't seen here. Manager says, ma'am, I'm sorry, but we have to review it since we have a complaint from these two. Housewife 1 looking at me, you two are gonna burn in heck, atheists. OP and GF, we don't believe in heck. After that statement, they head back to their table, pay for their checks, and decide to make a run for it. They ended up getting away, but at this point, we didn't care. Manager reviewed our footage and our statement proved to be true. We ended up getting a free dinner for it and decided that this will be one for the books. I ended up applying as a bartender at the sushi bar a week later since I was out of a job. We decided to have dates at our apartments for now, since we were tired of them caring. You gotta love people pushing their beliefs upon you. That being said, which one of these 3 stories from today are your favorite? Let me know which one and why in the comments below. But with all that being said, that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for watching and listening to the Storytime channel. If you haven't yet, please consider subscribing, and don't forget to let me know which one of these stories were your favorite and why in the comments below. Thank you all again for watching and listening to the Storytime channel.